And on the line with us this morning is Mike Puglise, and we have a very serious topic with Mike. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mike Puglise is a former law enforcement officer himself. He's a leading attorney in the Atlanta area, and he joins us to talk about what has become a real scourge all across the nation. We see it here in Western PA, just as I'm sure, see it in Atlanta and all over, and that is gun violence involving young people, particularly younger children. Mike, that's very, very scary, and I hate to be introduced to you on a topic such as that, but it's an important one, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. You know, where do you start? Where do you grab the handles on all this? It's hard to say. I think the first place to start is the attitudes in general. You know, we've made masculinity, male masculinity, just a total bad word, a toxic word. And what I'm getting at is there's no father figures, zero father figures. When I grew up, you know, the worst thing you get caught with at school was a cigarette in your pocket, and you got 2 weeks suspension and then a tanning when you got home from your dad. Now we're talking about kids with reckless abandon are going to school with, Glock 9 millimeters. Like it's the thing to do. It's the in thing to do. It's the fashion to do. And one of the things is there's no repercussions. There's no responsibility for these type of acts, and these kids know that. It's almost like an entitlement, a badge of honor to be caught with one. But not only get caught with one, but use it. And what the focus is, and I'm not giving kids a pass saying that the lack of parental guidance is some type of excuse. It's not. But what we're sending a message to is that there's no repercussions for these acts. There's no home. There's no home life anymore for these kids. I grew up in a home, a house with a roof, a foundation, and there's no family foundation anymore for these kids. They have nothing to go home to, nothing to be proud to anymore. And they look up to gang members or their new role models, criminal acts, the drug peddling and everything that comes with it. And that is the new norm. That's the new reparation of entitlement for these type of kids in these type of cultural environments. I don't know what the answer is. I have a spiritual answer. You know, we need to get Christ back in the lives of most of these people. But I'm not seeing any of this at all being taught anymore. That's almost like a bad philosophy now. It's not a woke philosophy, and it doesn't fit that agenda.
Mike, we can't imagine a mentality that would point a gun at another human being and pull a trigger. It just doesn't compute for us. But unfortunately, basically through the video game industry, we're teaching kids that that's just a common thing, and they're just little images on a screen, and you can just press reset and start all over again. There really is a lack of respect for how damaging a gun can be and for the human life that it could take.
Well, you know, there is. You said a mouthful. There's no respect for life anymore. I'm not going to get on a pro-life kick, but when you have everything in the media is pro-choice, it's my decision to make. I live for thee, not for anyone else. I just live for my own self-identity. It's gone. There's no respect anymore. There's no guidance anymore. There's no principles that's being taught in schools anymore. All we're being taught is how do I get a quick fix through satisfaction? How do I get my own what I want? Not what betters the world, betters my community. All that is gone. But you're right. These people, these criminal thugs that are being brought up, they don't care about life. They don't know that you're actually taking a human life. You're taking a soul right there. They don't appreciate that. It's not even looked upon as being a wrong thing to do in any form of the imagination. And how do you bring that back? How do you instill that back when you have media that is out there and just pushing a narrative that is not religious in nature at all or spiritual in nature at all? It's you are owed this, you are entitled to this, and take it. It's yours, and it's gone. There's no answer, and law enforcement is having a difficult task because they are targets themselves of this woke media, and it's scary times for all of us. I saw D.C. is passing a bill now where they're minimizing maximum penalties on serious violent crimes such as murder, rape, sexual assaults in general, armed robberies, carjackings, home invasions, all of this. And, there's no logic in why would you even consider doing something like this. But the big answer is take away guns from everybody. That's going to heal the nation, and that's going to make utopia, and it's going to solve everybody's problem. And we all know that's a farce.
Mike, you've mentioned a couple of, or more than just a couple of possible solutions, and it's probably going to take a little bit of a teamwork here. You've mentioned the home. The home has to be healed. You mentioned spirituality. That certainly has to be a factor in it. You've mentioned community. You've mentioned police. You mentioned schools. Is it going to take all of them finding a way to come together in order to really get to the root of the problem and then beat it?
Absolutely. You're going to have to do that. You got to reinstill the family life. But the problem we're running into, the obstacle, the obstruction we're running into is people are drinking this Kool-Aid of globalism. And George Soros is a brilliant man. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's attacking the family unit totally. We see it in everything that he's funding, from district attorneys and judges in blue cities and blue states, and they control the rule of law. We see it in all aspects of even churches being restricted in various ways of professing their faith. How do you get around that? And as Americans, we've never been confronted with having to stand up and speak out. And we've never had to do that. Yeah, we had to do it in 1776 years ago, but I'm talking about modern times. We never really had to do that. We've always been winners. We've overcome World War I, World War II. But we've never had to confront it right here on our own turf. It was always somewhere over there. And now it's almost like a lot of people are saying, well, if I'm left alone, that's the way it needs to be. Why stir the pot until they come for thee? And I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. We're dealing with a media that is forcing this agenda, and they're leaning towards Marxism and communism. And that's where we're at. People don't want to say that. That's the gorilla in the room. No one wants to mention it. But we're bypassing socialism. We're sitting there looking at communism down the road.
Mike Puglise is our guest this morning, former law enforcement officer, a leading attorney in the city of Atlanta. We're talking about gun violence in particular with our young folks, but the overall atmosphere, if you will, around our young, and what are the solutions to all of the different afflictions that are getting at that segment of society. Mike, it's in Atlanta where you are. Is there a particular organization or a particular movement that you're seeing that is getting any positive results at all?
What I am seeing, people are getting back to their churches. The church pews are starting to be filled. And I know I sound like I'm a Jesus revolutionary, and I'm not. But I do believe in my faith, and I do see a rebound where people are turning back to God. They're going back to their churches, and they're finding hope there. So that's what I see. Now, on the political level, absolutely not. There is no movement. I mean, even, and I hate to say it, I've been a Republican all my life, and even there's a move that the Republicans just aren't filling the bill right now. We don't have representation anymore. And I'm not talking about the old term, this is taxation without representation. We just don't have representation anymore. No politician, other than Donald Trump, has taken the reins and really said enough's enough, and I'm going to stick my neck out there no matter what the forces say, and I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for American traditions. I'm going to fight for what America stood for. I'm going to fight what all the military veterans gave their lives and for, that they fought for this country, fought for this flag. And we just don't have the GOP doing that. We have the Mitch McConnells that, give us lip, and that's all it is. And we have the Lindsey Grahams that go back and forth no matter what side the wind's blowing. They want to find out what's going on. But we need that true, I'd say we need that Moses. And I don't see it right now other than Donald Trump, and we see what the persecution they're putting him through.
Well, Mike, I'd like to say you give me all kinds of great hope here today, but we need to.
Sorry.
We need to keep fighting, I guess, is the bottom line of it, and not let what we believe America should be get away from us. And I appreciate your time with us here this morning. We'll keep working on it. Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
Have yourself a wonderful day. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.